good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to Sunday afternoon of Trainfest. All right, Trainfest 2017. You're louder. All right, how's this? Is this better? Welcome to Trainfest 2017, everyone here in Milwaukee. Are you having a good time? All right. I'd like to say thanks to all the vendors and displays and layouts and dealers, historical societies, and to the volunteers and to all the attendees that are here. So thank you very much for coming. I'd like to acknowledge our special guests from Kato as well. And with that, I have a little proclamation here from Trainfest to read out. Oh, and by the way, my name is Pete Lakatosh. I'm the WISE Division Superintendent from the NMRA division here. But also, I'm part of, more importantly today and yesterday, the Trainfest Committee. And the green shirts around are those who have done a lot of work, and the red shirts, who do a lot of work and help making our show a great success. And I have a little proclamation here from Trainfest, which is, I'll read aloud. It's actually to the winners here of the all-nation contest. So, whereas more than 140 schools from all over Japan were challenged by the Japanese Ministry of Education and sponsored by Kato Precision Railroad Models to design and build a model railroad module. And whereas competing teams spend up to a year in designing their original module in miniature to direct scale, and whereas the fierce competition and hard work emphasized innovation, culture, art, and technology, whereas the winning team chose to feature the beautiful fall hues that paint rural villages in Japan by featuring the natural beauty, the history and geography of the legendary town of Ikaho, and whereas this module was chosen as the most detailed and best built overall. Now, therefore, in celebration of model railroading and in recognition of the students from Kiratsu Girls Senior High School in the center of Tokyo, Japan, on behalf of Ken Jelinski, Chairman of Trainfest, do hereby proclaim Saturday, November 11th, 2017 as Trainfest Day, and also Kiratsu Girls Senior High School Day at Trainfest 2017, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And so thank you very much for attending. And I'd also like to introduce now our module competition winners. Actually, they're going to introduce themselves.
Hello everyone. We are from Kyoritsu Girls Senior High School in Tokyo, Japan. We belong to the Geographical and Historical Studies Club at school. Now, what do you think of when you hear Japan? Sushi, kimono, Mount Fuji. Some of you may think of onsen, a Japanese word which means hot spring. Have you ever experienced onsen in Japan? In Japan, there are a lot of onsen resorts and they are visited by a lot of people in all the season. We can enjoy the beautiful scenery of each season when we are bathing in the hot spring. We can enjoy seeing snow in winter, cherry blossoms in spring, fireflies in summer, and autumn leaves in autumn. This time we made a model of an onsen resort with an autumn theme. The title is Shinshu. It means deep or late autumn. And the scene is at noon, November 3rd. It is a very good time to enjoy autumn leaves in Japan.
This onsen town is modeled after Ikaho Onsen. Ikaho Onsen is located in Gunma Prefecture and is about 2 hours by train from Tokyo. The greatest feature of this onsen town is that there are long stairs in its center. With many Japanese-style hotels and souvenir shops lined up on both sides. Between the upper stairs and the lower stairs, there is a flat space paved with stones. We used commercial goods for this part, and each stone is painted in a different color one by one. For example, green stones are diorite, and brown stones are jade, and gray stones are granite. The geology of Japan is very complicated, so we can obtain a wide variety of stones from the earth of Japan.
As you see, the biggest characteristic of this onsen town is the stairs in its center. Therefore, we were particularly careful about the placement of the stairs. The stone stairs are subtly carved so that you can feel the perspective depth when you look up the stairs from below.
The real stone stairs in Ikaho town are made of granite. Granites are hard and solid, and they are strong against the wind and rain. So, for this model, we painted the plastic part of the stairs several times, and each time we used a different color. Also, we tried to show the texture part of the granite by using an airbrush technique. We employed this technique for the tree in front of the shrine too.
We made the shrine all by ourselves. The main structure is made of paper on the supposition that gods of the hot spring and gods of medicine are enshrined in it.
Stone walls are often seen between buildings. We put paper clay on the surface of the walls. That are smaller than 5 millimeters, one by one, using tweezers.
A lot of patience was necessary for this work. In this finished work, there are some parts hidden between the buildings. Actually, we had to remake some of the stone walls. We pay attention to the parts that cannot usually be seen.
We put weeds on the background, such as in the gaps of the stone walls and behind the buildings. We particularly put a lot of weeds in sunny places and also in the places where people do not walk. The grass that is tall and ochre-colored is Suzuki. It is Japanese pampas grass, which is which is peculiar to Japan. In autumn, it puts forth ears.
Now, I will ask you a question. What is the Japanese pampas grass of this model made from? A hint is that it is one of the cosmetics for women.
False eyelashes.
Answer is false eyelashes. In Japan, we can obtain a lot of false eyelashes at low prices. We color them yellow, ochre, and bundle 4 or 5 eyelashes together in order to make like the ear of Japanese pampas grass. It took a tremendous amount of time.
Now the second question is, we made all the trees by hand, and we used something quite familiar when we made the leaves for for the summer trees. What do you think it is? A hint is that it is you can find in the kitchen. Oh, that's right. The answer is sponge for washing tableware. We cut it into small pieces, color the pieces green to be put on the branches, and we were successful in making the leaves of summer trees.
The theme of this model is deep autumn. So we colored the leaves red and yellow in order to show the changing color of the tree. The leaves of tree begin to change their colors from the outside. Therefore, we colored the leaves red, yellow, and green from the outside going in. We wanted to show the gradation of the tree colors.
We are also careful about the growth of the trees. This model has 4 directions: north, south, east, and west. We arranged evergreen trees on the slope of the sunny south side, coniferous trees on the shady north slopes, and pine trees on the steep slope and the ground that is not stable. We made an open-air onsen bath or rottenbro in the valley so that a bather might have a good viewpoint for these trees.
The bridge colors is supposed to be foreign made and to have been completed in 1889. Japanese industry at that time was far behind the industry at Western countries. So they imported foreign made bridge colors and constructed the double deck.
The dam was modeled after Shiromaru Dam, located in the western part of Tokyo. Tokyo has not only big city areas, but also countryside areas that are abundant in nature with mountains and rivers. The dam of this model is supposed to have been constructed in the rapid Japanese economic growth of the 1960s.
The power plants next to the dam generate electricity by flowing water in large quantity from the dam lake to the water supply pipe. We made the dam paper and styrene board. We had a hard time expressing the covered part of the flowing water and the subtle conditions of the color changes to the concrete.
From the mountain railway, you can enjoy the view of autumnal leaves along the dam lake. We modeled this after the mountain railway of Hakone Onsen, which is a famous and popular onsen town in the south of Tokyo. The station has a switchback system. The overhead wire was made by soldering brass wires. We use brass wires of 0.2 millimeters and 0.4 millimeters. There is concrete in a lattice pattern on side of the mountain railroad. It is in order to prevent steep slopes from falling down. We made this with paper clay. This is the last question. There is something like red fruit hanging in the yard of the house by the mountain railroad. What is that? I'll give you a hint. This is exposed to the sun for about a month. The answer is hoshigaki or dried persimmons. They are dried under the sun for about a month. This way, they become sweet and rich in nourishment, which is necessary for us during the cold winter time. If you go to the countryside of Japan, you can still see dried persimmons hanging in the yard of the houses.
How did you like it? Thank you. There are many other things to see, so please take your time to find your own viewpoint. If you have any question or comment, feel free to ask or tell us. Thank you for your kind attention. ごきげんよう。
Thank you for our presentation. I'm teacher of Kyoritsu Girls High School. This time we came to US, Milwaukee, and joined Trainfest. We are very happy. Just a moment. I have to prepare a cheat sheet. Sorry. In Japan, boys-only schools railroad diorama put focus on train, railroad, bridge, station, and etc. But nature is not usually a major element. 2 years ago, we won the competition in Japan. But we lost the popular vote. Why we lost the popular vote? This was the many people, especially boys, claimed that it was not train diorama because there was too much nature. Why? I don't understand. Therefore, we had changed our style to create more balance. Last year, we were told that our diorama too similar to that of 2 years ago by the judge. So this time, our student leader, Miku, she came up with totally fresh idea. Last year, September, her and me, we started exchanging notebook for making our railroad diorama. In this notebook, many ideas. Always her idea. One morning, she came to me. She said, "Teacher, please you check the notebook in this new idea." As soon as I checked the note, I said, "This is not good idea." The next day, she came again with new idea. But I said, you think, you try, you make a more idea. I reject every time. It's very hard for her. Me too. And finally, she decided to create a very feminine environment to emphasize nature. Of course, we also want to include masculine elements, as balance is an important theme to us. This year, we won both the competition and the popular vote. And finally, I want to say that I am proud of my students. Thank you very much.